D-Rock, D-Rock, D-Rock. What a movie. D-Rock. What
Man, I don't
a
know what to
movie.
feel right now. That one was all kinds of emotions going through me.
Yeah,
This
that one was.
It's
I
heavy.
did.
Is what it
I didn't
is.
need that in my life right now.
Right. It's heavy. That's what it is. It's the word heavy on your
That's it.
chest.
Yeah.
It's the I hope this never happens to me and I never have to deal with this in my life ever. Yeah, that's what that is for me.
Episode 16 of Press Play, Mystic River. D-Rock.
Mystic River, man. I don't know. I don't know what you got going in your life if you're watching this, but I hope it's not as bad as what these people are dealing with. That's all I got to say. But Mystic River, 2003 movie, directed by Clint Eastwood. Fun fact: he's also the composer for
Really?
this. Yes, he did both for this
Yeah.
movie. And as we talked about before, based on a book by Dennis Lehane. I think it's Dennis Lehane or Dennis Lehane. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then Brian Helgeland. They also did the screenwriting for the film. So must have been a popular book because within 2 years they made a movie out of it, or it got to the right people. All the above, maybe.
The writing was fantastic. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah, acting tour de force cast, you could
yeah.
say.
Oh yeah.
I mean, names, but also names as far as like quality projects that they take on and quality roles they've done, and many multi award winners, by the way, not just for this movie, but there's a lot of Oscar winners in this cast for other films. But this movie took the Oscar 2004, 2 Oscars: best lead for Sean Penn and best supporting for Tim Robbins.
Well deserved.
And I mean, obviously, those two, three powerful scenes with them, but on totally different levels of energy. Two totally different types of scenes between them. You get the build up, and then that final scene between them is just, that's where all the energy ends up being. But yeah, it was an acting tour de force, I would say, but also a low key movie. A lot of the dialogue and stuff in this movie is not a ton of screaming and stuff like that. Not a lot of action. Obviously, it's a lot of it's just drama. This is a drama, straight up drama. Hey Theo,
what's going on, Theo? Yeah,
this was
crazy. Well written. 2 hours and 18 minutes, so it's a little over what I would usually like, but man, it'll keep you at the edge of your seat the entire time. You don't even know what time it is.
The runtime for this movie has a lot to do with the pace of the speaking in the movie.
Yeah.
And they wanted to keep certain lines and they wanted to keep certain conversations. They didn't want to cut them. Case in point, the earlier conversation between Dave and Jimmy, who Jimmy's Sean Penn and Dave is Tim Robbins, along with Kevin Bacon, Lawrence Fishburne, Marcia Gay Harden, Laura Linney. I mean, I could go on. There's other people in here too. What's her name? Is her name Emmy Rossum? Who ends up doing that big show on Showtime later.
Yeah.
She's the kid in this. She's
Katie,
the daughter of Jimmy Markham. Yeah, she's Katie. But yeah, I mean, really good acting in this. But their scenes, the chemistry in their scenes are really good. And Tim Robbins really plays
Dave perfectly.
On the edge. He plays on the edge very well as somebody who's lost, kind of on the edge. You're not sure what they're going to do or what they're dealing with. Yeah. As Dave, yeah.
Just lost, like what he went through as a kid, right? They were 3 best friends or 3 really good friends. 25 years before the events that took place, and it was Dave kind of got the short end of the stick at that time.
Yeah, I mean, you basically had some predators that showed up acting as cops, and basically, the way I took it was whoever was the one who would jump in the car where they were going to take. They just had to get one.
The writing was so good. Clint Eastwood did such a good, because that he made it evident. He's like, okay, you're the one, like the goody two shoes one to Dave,
right?
And it was so well done, if you ask me.
And very natural dialogue. I would say the way they wrote the dialogue was very lived in, as if somebody had experienced this type of dialogue. So I'm assuming Dennis Lehane, who wrote the book, probably helped a lot with that, because I believe he's from that Boston area. I believe this was based on childhood stuff that he grew up with and probably the neighborhoods he grew up around. And Clint Eastwood made it a point to shoot this in Boston to keep the feel of the movie correct, to keep it right, and had the actors come in and learn. Obviously they had to learn the dialect, they had to sound correct for the area, but also I think like Kevin Bacon came in, and to do his role as Sean, he actually worked he followed the police force around for like weeks before they started filming to get a feel for
to get the field
police work, and did some field work with them just to get a feel for what his character was going to be.
Seamless. Yeah.
I was like, so here's an interesting fact. I could turn this into a trivia question, but I don't. How could I get you to answer it without giving it away? But I don't know if you'd ever get the answer.
What is it?
Okay. Hold on. Let me go to the trivia. I just want to make sure I get it right. Okay. There was an actor who was originally cast as Sean, the character that Kevin Bacon ends up playing, the police officer. He actually worked on the movie. He was originally cast, worked on the movie, had been working on it all the way up until a month before they started filming. So Kevin Bacon was brought on a month from filming, which is crazy, by the way. And then him and Clint Eastwood got in a big argument, and he left due to conflicting, I guess, maybe opinions on the character or something. Guess who that was? Guess who that actor was?
Get a hint?
And I'll see if I can't give it away, but I'll try not to.
Sure.
It's an actor you revere from a movie you love that we've had on this channel.
Gandolfini?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Think bigger as far as named actors. Bigger as far as like the world knows them.
Next comes the
Huge.
Schwarzenegger, but I can't.
Would have been the
imagine.
biggest name in the movie. Would have been the biggest
imagine.
name in the movie.
Oof.
Not Schwarzenegger.
That I
But you're close.
Oh.
I'll just tell you. You have
Al Pacino?
you have a statue of him without his outfit, without his suit on, without his costume.
Michael Keaton?
Michael Keaton was the original cast
Wow.
for Sean Divine. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it says him and Clint got in a huge argument, and he bailed a month before.
I can't picture Michael Keaton in that role.
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon did such a good job. So
I know. I mean, his low key version. I think Michael Keaton could have pulled it off, because I've seen him play that type of character, kind of a low key, in like grounded movies. As he's gotten older, specifically, he's good at those movies. But I don't know. It is hard to see it once you see the person who does do the role. Hard to change the casting.
what's going on, Mike? Thanks for finding my daughter's killer, Sean. You've always been faster. That was incredible. That was.
He's. You notice how his energy level starts pretty normal, escalates throughout the movie, and then he's out of energy by the end. Like, he's done. He's done. Yeah, that whole last.
Well, he
scene,
kind of felt like he got it out of his system that he did it. He found the killer.
Yeah.
It's done.
He thought so, but also you can tell he's still broken. Like when he's sitting on that sidewalk.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He's just broken. Like, I think he's broken over her. I think he's broken after having to kill somebody again, or unalive, I should say, for YouTube. He had to do something he didn't want to do ever again. Remember, he says, "I thought I was done with this."
Yeah.
That's one of the lines he has in that scene with Tim Robbins. But yeah, kind of I mean, we could kick it off if people don't know the movie. Basic premise is the movie starts off with a little preview of the characters. This is a character piece. I mean, this is all character. This whole movie is just character building.
Yeah.
Payoffs for character building. These three kids, like we said, basically they're playing baseball out in the street, or stickball, whatever you will call it. And two men come by. They say they're cops. They say, "Kids, you're messing up the sidewalk," because I think they found some wet concrete. They were
Exactly. They found wet concrete.
And he's like, "How dare you, kid?" They're super aggressive, and basically they get Dave, forcing him. I mean, they intimidated these kids. Is what they did. They were yelling at him and stuff, like, "Get in the car," And he's showing like his cuffs. He keeps showing his cuffs while he's talking to them, so they can pull off this, what ends up being fake cops. Basically, they're just two sexual predators, I'm assuming, because he says they locked him up for 4 days. Yeah. So Dave gets the short end of the stick, no pun intended, and basically his life will never be the same. He does escape. They do say later he escaped, and the cops, one of the guys hung himself in prison. Yeah. I can't remember what happened to the other one. He didn't make it to jail. He already was dead or something. Something happened. But that kind of is the prelude to the story that we're in the movie. And the story in the movie is later on when these kids grow up, Sean Penn's character, who's Jimmy Markham, his daughter goes missing. We kind of get just a little intro to him and his life. And he's a store owner now running what looks like a convenience store on the corner or something.
Yeah. And
she just goes out for a night of hanging out. She has to be back the next day for her sister's communion, her first communion. And she doesn't show up. She doesn't show up for work the next day. She's nowhere to be found. And that kicks off this whole thing of who done it.
Yeah.
What happened? At first it's what happened to her. Then it's who done it when they fought,
Let me say something about that first scene though, where they abduct Dave. I think Clint Eastwood, the way he directed that character later on, how he grew up, and that psychological damage just carried throughout the entire film. It's almost as if that little boy never recovered, even though he's an adult now, married, has his own kid. It's like that little kid's still trapped in there, and all that trauma.
Well, you do notice throughout the movie, the more that Dave talks in this movie, the more he talks about himself in the third person. He starts calling himself the boy, like he's carrying a passenger along, like he's no longer him. And he even says to his wife in that one monologue scene, he says to her, Dave's dead. I don't know what happened to that, but that's not who came out of the room. That's not who escaped. It wasn't Dave. And he keeps talking about like werewolves and vampires and stuff. He keeps bringing that up after about the middle of the movie on. He starts saying just what sounds like nonsense, crazy stuff, but in his head, it makes complete sense because he's seeing these predators as monsters, like horror monsters. Yeah, he's seeing them as like a monster in the woods that takes you and, you escape. And he's scared. He says at one point he's scared he's becoming one, which I took it to mean he's scared of like it taking over him, and that he killed a guy, right? That's what he says. He took a dude out of the car pedophile. That was like a pedophile in the car. And I don't know if anyway, he takes him out of the car. He says he killed him, and now he's worried about being a monster himself because he did that, I guess. After the fact, he's regretting taking it that far, and he doesn't want to do that. That's kind of what he's getting at. But the way they build up to it with his dialogue, you're like, is he crazy? What is he talking about? You're kind of like the wife. You're kind of like his wife. You're like, he's definitely off. Like well, they said that when Kevin Bacon and Lawrence Fishburne, the two detectives, go to visit him when he's taking his kid to the school bus, walking his kid to the school bus that day, they immediately say after he gets done with it, and it seems like a pretty normal conversation, by the way. Nothing crazy happens. He doesn't say anything weird. Yeah. He's just kind of talking to them about his night and his day. And he says one of the things he says is, I haven't seen you in like 7 or 8 years. So these guys are no longer friends that hang out. They don't see each other. They don't interact. All that kind of split this group up. Basically, this event is what I took out of it. But he even says at the end of that conversation, Lawrence Fishburne says to him, like, what's wrong with this guy? He could just tell he's off. He's like, this is not, something's wrong. He's not all with it, or, something's off with him for sure. But yeah. And you got to give credit. I give credit to Clint Eastwood and Tim Robbins for just making that character exactly what you said, carrying on that damage and really letting you see it even though he grew up and he's, obviously a different actor and he's now supposed to have experienced all this trauma. I think Tim Robbins did a brilliant job emoting that and evoking that in his character and letting you know how damaged he was, even because he starts off really low key with it, He's not like running around crazy screaming.
Starts to unravel.
He's just unraveling very slowly. It just so happens he's unraveling slowly at the same time this other stuff's happening, which is just timing is just horrible.
Well, that's the thing. The timing for him was horrible. Yeah.
The timing for this movie's almost also an allegory on like not taking anything into your own hands without evidence. I kind of get that out of this too, because look what happens. Yeah. Like literally one more day. If his wife hadn't went.
That's was the
went to
key.
Jimmy. That was crazy. If his
That's
wife
what
had
they
never
did.
went to him, he would have found out that next morning anyway
Yeah,
that
because
his
essentially what had
boyfriend's
happened was,
yeah,
well, one key scene that I want to pinpoint that I thought paid off so well was before we get into that, was the scene where the two kids are he's getting into the car as a kid, and the two friends are standing there watching them drive off, right?
yeah,
And
oh
then
yeah,
later on in the film, it just set that scene up perfectly when he's getting in the back seat of the car with the Savage brothers, and it's
right. He's
almost
doing
the
it again.
exact same scene with
Yep.
him as an adult. The two boys aren't there, but he looks back. He looks back, and
Yeah.
I got goosebumps. I'm like, wow, that is how you direct a film and put some input
Yeah.
and get some
And he still trusts
emotion.
people.
Yeah,
Isn't that crazy? You think
yeah,
these guys are known as like the head bashers in
yeah.
this area, and he just trusts them. He's like, "Oh, hey guys, sure, I'll jump in the car with you and go for a bite," not thinking at all like anything's happening. You know what I mean? He just
Yeah.
never gets it.
But essentially,
He
what was
doesn't see the
happening was
danger.
um, so what's his name? Jimmy, Sean Penn's character, has his daughter who works with him and whatever. Like you said, they were getting ready for the sisters' communion the next day
Yep.
or whatnot. But it opens up with her character meeting or going to her car, and there's her boyfriend supposedly
Her, yeah,
in the
her
back seat of the car. So it sets up
secret
his
boyfriend.
secret
Yeah.
boyfriend. It sets up his character that his dad didn't like that kid at all because of a beef he had with the kid's dad, whatnot. That's a whole
Right.
other
That comes
thing
into play
that
also
comes in
later.
afterwards.
Big payoff. Yeah. Yeah. So
But
you got to give it to Clint for that too. And the writing, Clint and Sean for that. Sean plays that like he doesn't like this kid. And everybody knows he doesn't like this kid.
yeah,
And everybody's like, why don't you like this kid? And he plays that well because later on he explains why he doesn't like the kid. That his dad
the
was,
bloodline.
what was it, Just Ray? Because
That's
there's
right.
too many
Yeah,
Rays in the neighborhood.
the dad ended up ratting on Jimmy, Sean's Penn character,
Yep.
and he ended
Which
up
got
doing
him in jail.
time. He ended up
Yeah.
doing time for it, which he
Yeah.
missed he missed the death of Rita, who was his wife at the time, who was Katie's mom.
Right.
Right, so he wasn't there with her
Yep.
while she was dying because of that. So he ended up taking
Yeah.
him out, obviously. But
And he says he had some dialogue in the movie where he says the thing that scared him the most was when he came out and he had to take care of this little girl by himself. That scared him more than being in jail.
oh, for sure.
That was a nice line, I thought. That built up his relationship with his daughter because you could tell just in that one scene they have together. They only have one scene together in the back room of the store. She comes in just to tell him she's going out that night, blah blah.
Exactly.
And he's like, "Yeah, don't forget tomorrow. You got to come for your sister's stuff, and like we got to, communion." And it's like that was really good chemistry between them in that
Yeah.
scene. For them only having one scene together. Her, by the way, she was only 16 when they were filming. She wasn't 19.
She's really good actress.
So she did a really good job coming in right off the bat and really acting like they had a close relationship. The way they just shot their looks and the way she like kissed him on the head and stuff. So you really immediately got this daughter dad vibe where like he probably had her for a while by himself and it was just them,
For sure.
doing life. And then he met his wife now, which was Laura Linney's character. I think her name was Annabeth. And then, obviously he had some help and they had a bigger family by that point, but they obviously, you could just tell from just that one scene how much love they had. And, you can see that throughout the movie too, whenever he finds out about her and stuff. That was a brilliant scene. The way they shot it. I love that they went to that overhead in the park. After he was screaming, they went to the overhead and pulled up from the crane shot, basically a crane shot of him just like fighting with all these cops and screaming.
Yeah, that was wild. That was a very gut-wrenching scene. So, as a viewer, you're seeing her leave her father's store. The first person she interacts with is her secret boyfriend, and then you see her later at a bar, and Dave is there, and Dave sees her. So the way they set this film up is wild, because later that day, you see Dave walk into his house. He's all covered in blood. He's telling his wife, he got mugged. And he beat the guy so hard that he thinks he's dead, and he was bleeding everywhere. So it paints the picture that, hey, he was the last person to see the daughter. Did he do it?
Yep.
So in the back of your head, you're watching this film, and that's how it goes. They find her dead and so forth, and then they start their investigation. Kevin Bacon and Fishburne's character, and they start investigating Harris, which is the kid, the undercover boyfriend, not the undercover, the hidden boyfriend, and Dave. The thing with the boyfriend is that we didn't know right away was she was actually going to skip town and go to Vegas with him.
Yeah.
So
that's we had some dialogue from Jimmy about that, where he said she gave me this look like I was never going to see her again, or I wasn't going to see her for a long time, and that was basically because they were planning to leave the next day.
Yeah.
Together. I thought it was great too how they did that with the boyfriend, where honestly, even though I'd seen this movie before, I guessed, I was like, oh, it is the boyfriend, isn't it? And it wasn't. Like, they gave you a couple of little, if you thought it was him directly, it wasn't him either. So that was pretty nice, not to just make it real simple and say, well, the boyfriend did it this whole time. He's just really good at hiding it. You know what I mean? They made it more complicated, more nuanced.
Yeah, it was a roller coaster. It took you left, right?
It took you all over. Yeah.
And I like that. It was a good mystery, a good kind of mystery case, because even the detectives were doing a good job kind of getting to the grind of it. And because it turns out to be that that boy Harris, who was the son of that Ray that Jimmy was dealing with back in the day.
Yep.
Apparently, he did a stick up at a grocery store or whatever, a little shop, convenience store thing, a liquor store, and that gun, the bullet that was fired, was tied to the gun that killed Katie, the bullet. So it brings it back to Harris, the kid. Well, wait a second. If that's the father's gun, what's going on? Then it must be him.
What? Yeah. How is that? How this guy hasn't been seen in how long? Like they said, he just disappeared one day and nobody saw the father again. And we found out at the end, obviously why, but the kid was getting money.
Cool. It was cool. Yeah, that's what was cool. The detectives were interrogating the kid, saying, "Hey, this was your dad's gun that killed her. So where's the gun?" And he's being interrogated. So where's your dad? He's like, "I don't know, but someone sends my mother $500 or $800 a month. So the money's coming from somewhere in Brooklyn, I think he said."
Yeah.
So he goes into the house to check the spot where I guess he hid the gun, and the gun's missing.
Right.
And don't forget to interject here, kind of in order to paint the picture that Harris was like a good guy and down to earth and just wouldn't hurt a fly, they introduced his brother, who was a mute. Right, he wouldn't speak.
Right. Wouldn't speak, and the kids
he even learned sign language to speak with him, to communicate with him, even though he didn't have to. He's just a mute. He can still hear. He just didn't speak. So that's how they directed the film to make him seem like he wouldn't hurt a fly, right? He learned this for his brother, this and that.
Yep. And on top of that, they made it a point to have the guy who works at the grocery store say, "Why don't you like him? He's a good kid. He takes care of his brother. He learns sign language."
That's exactly it. Yeah.
They kept putting in stuff like that to make you go, "Well, why would he do this if he's such a good kid?" And they looked like they were getting ready to leave together. What could happen? Yeah. Which I think, by the way, that actor ended up being on CSI, one of the CSIs for multiple seasons. I think it was Vegas. Can't remember his name though. But
you'll go later find out he goes to check for the gun. Well, who do you think took the gun? It was the brother that took the gun. He interrogates the brother, and while this is going on, it's kind of cool because Harris is interrogating his brother. Telling me, do you love me? Say it, this and that. Yeah. And at the same time, Jimmy is interrogating Dave at the river.
Yeah, very well written script for that, to have those scenes, duality of those scenes playing. That's very good script writing, honestly. I also thought there wasn't a lot of action in the movie, obviously, but any action there was I think it was done really well. It was done very gritty. Like, you thought it felt real. Like in the scene where the brother gets mad at the younger brother and his friend, and he's interrogating, the scene you were just talking about, when he starts like throwing them around the room and punching them and stuff, it felt real, like really real. When he was like kicking that kid in the face and stuff on the ground, and I was like, is he gonna kill this kid? Like, I felt that now, and I already know he does it from watching it before, but that was very well done as far as the grittiness of it, to keep you in. They made sure to keep you on the groundedness of this movie, that these are real people. This could have definitely happened to anybody at any time. This might have been ripped right off the pages of some paper in a city. This probably happened. You know what I mean? They did a really good job of keeping the movie grounded.
Oh,
and all the characters like real.
They did a good job of misleading as well. You got Jimmy that thinks Dave killed Katie. You have Celeste, his wife, who thinks Dave killed Katie, which encouraged essentially the audience to suspect Dave, and then boom, left-hand turn. What's with
right? Yep.
It ended up being the brother that killed. I guess the brother found out that he was going to run away.
They were leaving.
They were leaving, going to run away with her to Vegas. Or I don't think actually. No. Well, that was my initial thought, but at the end of the film, Kevin Bacon explains to Jimmy while he's on the curb. He's like, "Why did they do it? They were playing with the gun, or something like that. Like she was just a innocent bystander. I think the kid was laying on the ground or something. She swerved, something like that, and then the gun fired.
Yep.
I don't think it was. I originally thought that would have been a good writing, is if the brother loved him so much that he didn't want him to go, so he took her out. I thought that would have been a good insertion there as a reason for her death.
Yeah, it's just one of those crazy things of it really shouldn't have happened, and it just happened happened at the worst time. They were getting ready to leave. There's obviously some animosity with the brother, and then there's a gun available. It's just all kinds of negative stuff happening. It's kind of the theme of the movie too, because Tim Robinson's character's in the wrong place at the wrong time, going through stuff at the wrong time, and just happened to be, off enough to make his wife think he might have done it. You know what I mean? Like it's like a shame that his character, what happened to him, led to him being enough off that he could convince his own wife that he might have killed this girl, even though he never said anything about killing her, and never, like he was cut with a knife. There was never anything mentioned about a fight or struggle with a knife and all that stuff. She was hit in the head and then shot. So that was interesting how she just bought into that. But that's good, because that plays into the fact of how off he must be if even his own wife thinks he's that far off. That he may have done this. Yeah. I got a little interesting quiz trivia thing here. Kevin Bacon and Lawrence Fishburne. Go ahead.
Just to say, Rob's stopping by. He's saying, though, he doesn't have much to contribute this week, which is, please, man, don't worry. We appreciate you stopping by every week. Just because of how dark it is and the grief and stuff. He says he watched it once, but to watch it again, I completely...
It's hard, man.
Yeah, I don't think I'd watch this one again, but I thought it was a very, very well done movie.
Yeah. It's a really good movie, but just so dark. It's hard to watch again.
So what was your trivia? What were we going to say?
Okay, Kevin Bacon. Only reason I'm bringing this up is because as a kid, I remember this movie, and I actually liked this movie a lot when I was a kid. Kevin Bacon and Lawrence Fishburne, obviously they're playing the two detectives in this movie, the partners, who's looking for the, who did it. They first appeared with each other as rival bicycle messengers in a movie in 1986 called Quicksilver. I remember this movie like it was yesterday. It must have come on HBO or something when I was a kid. That's literally what it is. This whole movie is about people in like the city, I think it's like New York or something, who basically are just bike messengers. And like Kevin Bacon's a bike messenger. He keeps his bike in his apartment. He like makes sure it's always polished and ready to go. He's like really fast on it. It's those old school bikes that have the real curved handles, back in the day that could have like 18 speeds and stuff that people would use in like races and all that kind of stuff. I don't know why I remember that movie so much, but I definitely remember that. But that was their first film.
That was their first movie filmed together.
They were actually the two people, like the rivals against each other in that movie, who could deliver the packages, who could get the job or whatever. But yeah.
Okay.
Interesting little fun fact for me personally, just because I remember that movie. Another one was I mentioned earlier about there were 2 Oscars won in this movie. Best leading actor was Sean Penn won in 2004, and Tim Robbins won for Best Supporting Actor. Marcia Gay Harden, who plays Tim Robbins' wife in this, has also won an Oscar. She's the third person. She's the third actor in this movie that's won an Oscar. Obviously, Clint Eastwood had won an Oscar before this. He won for, I keep wanting to say Tombstone, but it's not Tombstone. It's Unforgiven. the movie he directed back in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
It's that final Western where he's an older cowboy who has to come back, and it's him and Morgan Freeman. Very good movie, by the way. If that's not on our list and you've never seen it, it needs to be on our list. Great movie. Brilliant movie. And he directed and I think wrote that one, if I'm not mistaken, and starred.
He was fantastic. Anything he touches is really well done. $1 Million Baby was good.
Yeah. I mean, he was on an Oscar streak with some of these directions. This was up for the Oscar for Best Director too, for that year as well. So I think it was up for 5, honestly. I just thought it was interesting he did the score for this. This movie is a very almost like a John Carpenter type thing. It's very ambience driven. It's not a lot to it. There's not a ton to it, which makes sense because I don't know how musically talented he is, as for writing movie scores. But it has a lot of lower tones. It kind of keeps that low tone of the movie, that grounded feel, and it only comes in when it needs to, when heavy stuff's happening. I don't know. I picked up on that this time watching it. Obviously, never paid attention to it in the past, but yeah, thought that was interesting that which is something I never thought of him doing, ever composing. Mm-hmm. So that was interesting. But yeah, I mean, this is really just a character study of Dave and Jimmy more than anything else. Those two characters. It's just, I mean, Sean, obviously we didn't even bring this up. Sean, Kevin Bacon's character, they do try to build his character up too. I just feel like there's so much going on between the other two that he can't really match.
With the wife, right? Because the wife,
the wife,
she left him.
Yeah, it's a strange wife. They try to build that up. The problem is the way they do it. She's just kind of, you never really see her. They keep doing these things. It's like an old school movie, like a 50s movie where you just kind of see the face, like the side of somebody's mouth as they're talking. Yeah. That kind of thing. Just
because she would keep calling him. She was gone for 6 months. She would keep calling him, but wouldn't say anything throughout the film. So he's taking these calls and.
Yeah, and I think she left after they had a baby, right? She has a baby with her, or a kid with her at this point, and I'm assuming it's a baby because, he asks about kid, and I think by the end of the movie, doesn't she? She actually speaks to him.
She comes back,
as if that might.
She actually comes back.
Yeah, she's coming back. Basically, I remember that. But that actually resolved. That's one thing in the movie that resolved in a positive way. The only thing really.
But I tried to understand why he inserted that side story there.
I honestly think 2 reasons. All right. So I don't know the book. See, so without knowing the book, I don't know if that was in the book or it was something for the movie. But if I'm just thinking of a script writing, if I was writing the script, the way I would think of it is after rereading the script and doing some edits and stuff, if that wasn't there, I would start thinking this movie was way too dark with a bunch of just negative endings. There's no positive outcome for anybody. Think about it. The young girl's dead. Her life's over. The father of the young girl has just committed another atrocity to try to, placate himself or his feelings or whatever, get revenge or vengeance, or whether it's justified or not. Now he's taken out Dave, who's a guy who has already went through crazy trauma in his life, but Dave has kids, so it's ruined their life, So Jimmy has also ruined their life, and he's ruined his family's life. Because I don't know if anybody's ever going to find this out. We don't know. Obviously, if anybody would ever find out he did that, but that's going to weigh on him. It's already weighing on him. It's going to weigh on him way more. It's going to this murder that he committed here is going to weigh on him way more than just Ray.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's a total different animal than just Ray. Some guy he just did a job with that, anyway.
I think
totally different animal.
With Sean, I think it was he kind of finally realized that he was pushing the family away too, pushing her away because of the job, and then Katie's death kind of humbled him.
It did, yeah.
So I think that's what his.
I think
that's all that could come to mind, personally.
Yeah, it's a 2-pronged problem. They need some kind of positive outcome to offset some of the negative, even though it doesn't really rival. But also, it's a resolution to him that otherwise his character would have had nothing except the case. If you didn't insert anything with him other than the case, well, think about, okay, I'll give you a prime example. I think his name's Whitey, right? Lawrence Fishburne's character.
Mm-hmm.
I think his name's, yeah. Kevin Bacon would have been his character because we never see anything about his life. We don't know anything except the scenes he's in where he just shows up and says, Look, I'm a good cop. I know this. I know that. We don't actually see anything that makes you like or dislike him other than just the way he speaks and his attitude toward the job and how good he is or not at his job. So without that, you don't really get a character arc. He's just kind of there because he's the partner. And we only see him be the partner for Sean. So I think they wanted to make sure Sean had more depth, especially since they inserted these 3 guys in the beginning. That's a huge deal. I wonder if because it's a movie and not a book, there was probably more for Sean, and they had to pick and choose what they could use because they could not take away. They may even have shot. They could have shot more scenes and cut them because when they saw these scenes with Tim Robbins and Sean Penn, they were like, we can't cut any of these scenes. They're too good. And they fit the story too good. If we take any of them out between them two, this movie does not work because it doesn't. Honestly, if you take any of the scenes out with Sean Penn and Tim Robbins, the movie doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
You really needed all those scenes they had together, the 3 or 4 they had together, and you needed the way they did the scenes together, the build up to, hey, bud, I hadn't seen you in a long time at the funeral, like at the wake, basically, right? We get that one where it's kind of like them not seeing each other for a long time, and here they are, even though they live right down the street, by the way. You can tell in the movie. They don't live but like 10 houses down from each other or something. Yeah, they walk right down. He walks right by his house. And
I like the ending when well, not that I like it, but I thought it was interesting because he pretty much admitted that Jimmy pretty much admitted to Sean that he killed Dave, and Sean's just like, whatever. If you at the end when he does the hand signal with the gun to shoot him, as if I'm gonna come for you or whatnot, and Jimmy's response is like shrugging his shoulder because how are they gonna get him? Right? He lives the life of crime. They know how to hide the bodies and all that. So
they don't know where he would have put the body to even start. And obviously,
I feel like his wife manipulated him a little bit too to kind of. Looks like he was kind of drifting away. He was drifting away from that life of crime, and the wife kind of manipulated him to get him back. Because isn't the Savage brothers her brother, something like that?
I think one of them is her.
One of them
brother,
is right.
Actually,
yeah.
I think one of them. I think the one you see the most is maybe.
Yeah. So
the one that shows up with the leather jacket most of the time. Let me see if the names match. Oh, we don't know her. We don't know her maiden name, but it could be one of those guys.
I think she had a big take into getting him back on the streets because he's kind of, you could see when during the parade he has a smile on the face, and I don't know, I guess he feels justice has been served.
Yeah, it's weird because I think you're right. I think he finally had like a family life and he was away from all that stuff. He's just running a business. He's not really dealing with any stuff under. They don't.
Celeste shows up too, right? Dave's wife shows up too, and nobody gave a rat's ass.
Nobody cared. Yeah. Sorry, I was just looking to see if they made a mention of them being related. But those guys are brothers in the movie, so if they are, they're all related.
I think
but anyway,
they're...
she does make it a point to push him when he's like, almost like she thinks he's weak if he doesn't follow through with figuring it out and taking care of it himself. Like almost like she's a mob. It's weird because she's almost like a mob boss's wife who actually wants him to be the strong mob boss enforcer guy who takes care of stuff.
As she says.
Yeah, even though he's just, they don't really build that up in the movie that he's like the king of the neighborhood or anything. You know, they don't, from an outside perspective, other than just her dialogue, they don't really allude to like he runs things in this.
Yeah, he's nothing to like a mob style, but he's involved in some stuff. You could tell because of the brothers, right? And the way.
Yeah. I think
it's he carried himself.
Neighborhood safe.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Yeah. He's the one sending money, obviously, for one thing. He's the one sending those checks to that kid.
Yeah, Ray.
Is what it is. So right there, this is a dude who, even though he felt, okay, so he tells you he felt right in doing what he did. He must not have felt too right about it. He sent money to his family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't do that if you didn't care, but then treats the kid like crap. You know what I mean? It's weird. He's sending $500 a month to this family to basically feed these kids and keep this family up. But then he's treating this kid like crap in person. Isn't that weird? That's strange. That's weird.
From what I remember, there was more than one tortured soul in this movie. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. At least two, for sure. I don't know, man. It's such a dark movie, but it is so well acted, so well directed, so well written. The writing, directing, acting is so good that you need to see it once. You don't really have to watch it every year or something because that's just too depressing. But to get the performances, to understand why these two guys won an Oscar and why this is revered as a very, very well regarded movie in general, and why Clint Eastwood is seen as a very good director, I think you need to see it.
To
get that.
If I'm being honest, I think I still have the DVD of this film because I think my parents bought it back in the day when this released. We used to go to, like, you remember when Best Buy had fucking, what do you call it, the Blu-rays and everything in the actual store, physical media.
Yep.
I think we used to pick up some.
They had them in those middle aisles.
Yeah, if I'm not wrong, I think I have this one, but I liked it. It was a good. It was a hard watch. It was a good watch. I like these kind of movies, not in the sense that all the death and stuff, but the writing, the suspense. You're kind of like the detective in the chair too, trying to figure it out with Fishburne and Bacon. So I enjoy it. I enjoyed the film a lot. A little mob tie kind of thing. You get that vibe after once they get the brothers. He comes in with the jacket, like he's gonna, you get a little bit of that gangster vibe into it towards the end. And what are you gonna rate this one?
I'm giving this one 8 out of 10 VHS tapes.
Okay. I'm gonna give this one personally a 9.
Nice.
I just thought it was so well written. I thought the cast was spotless. The acting was phenomenal, and I'm usually a stickler for movies that are 2.5 hours almost. And this one, you almost want more. I didn't check the time once. To see
That's true. It does. It's good enough that you don't think it's slow when you're watching it. It's not like this is a slow movie that's long, and I feel like it drags. It doesn't ever feel like that. I agree. There's enough going on.
Just
and good acting.
Scenes like when he goes to the morgue and the daughter's there and he puts the dress on her and he tells her, "I'm gonna get whoever did this," and then the funeral director behind him was like, "What did you say?" And he's like, "Oh, the obituary, right?" The movie paid off. The scenes paid off with each other. They lined up well. 9 out of 10 for me for sure.
Yeah, this is a tour de force of character arcs and character building. This whole movie's character based.
For sure, Rob.
For sure, no doubt about it. I mean, so was
at least back in the day.
So was $1 Million Baby. Same type of film, like the same type of down to earth, gritty, bad things happening to good and bad people. You know what I'm saying? It's that same type of Oscar bait vibe. Not that they did that for that reason, but it definitely is something that piques their attention for sure. So before I do the scores, I do want to start adding in budget versus gross. I don't know how important that is really as far as like, does it matter for how good the movie is or isn't as far as our opinion? It doesn't. But just for the audience, if you guys, just so you'll know, was it success? Was it not? Did people get it? It's good to know for the past because there's a lot of movies in the past that didn't do well that now everybody loves. The Thing by John Carpenter is a prime example. Nobody went and watched that movie when it came out. Now it's like, oh, this is like the greatest horror movie, one of the greatest top 5 horror movies ever. And like the effects are amazing, and also everybody loves it so much. I always loved it, but it's like nobody went and saw it. So it could have been a marketing thing or whatever. So it's nice to go back and see these time capsules and see how'd they do at the time. Did everybody get it? Did they not? Was it something that came around later? Is it a like pulp classic now where just a group of people really love it? That type of thing. I think that's interesting, just from a history perspective. But with that being said, the budget for this was about $25 million in 2000.
That's a lot.
It released in 2003, so 2002. That's not too bad for a 2002 movie that somebody like Clint Eastwood's name's directing, because obviously he's getting paid pretty good. And I'm sure Sean.
I feel it was all the talent because it's not like they had anything. It's all talent.
It's talent, locations, because they shot this whole movie on location in Boston. They didn't use sets, from what I read. It was all location shooting. They shot the movie in 39 days too, which is basically. Let's see. That's about 7 weeks, 7, almost 8 weeks. So that's not too short of a movie. That's a pretty good. I mean, the way it was posted when it said this movie was shot in 39 days, it made it seem like that's a short time period for a movie. But there's movies all the time being shot 15 to 25 days. I work on them all the time. They can be upwards of $7 to $10, $12 million budgets. So Yeah, there's movies all the time being shot. A lot of streaming movies are shot very fast now. But yeah. 25 million was the budget. It grossed worldwide 156. So it was a success. For sure. This is before the $1 billion movie boom, where everything has to cost 250, and if it doesn't make $1 billion, everything's a failure.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, what was the IMDb on this?
IMDb gave this movie a 7.9.
Wow.
Out of, let's look at quick. Get out of the trivia. 530,000 people rated this. So almost, this movie's been rated more than a lot of other movies. A lot of those were in the threes.
Considering all those ratings, that's pretty high. Yeah,
that's pretty high. A lot of people have seen it. In other words, so and then Rotten Tomatoes was 89%. So right close to your score, 89% critics and 89% audience. So it matched. So very high Rotten Tomatoes score movie on both ends, both accounts. And it's well-deserved.
Well-deserved. Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I'm going to explain my rating. My 8 really comes down to just the way the movie makes me feel. If I was saying like going by talent and how well it's shot, I really also don't like the color tone. I get that the color tone fits the feel of the movie. But this was that time period in the late 90s, early 2000s where everything looked blue. Every movie you watched had a blue overlay. Underworld, blue overlay. Every one of these movies came out. Yeah. There was a movie with Mel Gibson, Payback or something. It was all blue. Sylvester Stallone had one, all blue. Everything was just like this blue overlay. Everything had to be dark and blue. I get it for this movie. It really works. I just don't like that color tone overlay. I wish it was. I did notice some scenes where they didn't use it as much. Like the scene at the end where Sean and Jimmy are sitting on the curb. That was more natural lighting. There wasn't a lot of blue in that. But that's the only reason I probably would score it down at all. And the only other thing that bothers me about the movie from a story perspective is unless his wife is also the cheese is sliding off her cracker, she would never go to Jimmy and act like she's his sister or some she was like, that was a weird scene. You have to admit that was a weird scene. I always thought that was weird. It was weirdly acted. The reason I think that happened, by the way, I wanted to touch on this earlier. I'm gonna get into it real quick. Clint Eastwood's a very fast-paced director. He shoots like 2 shots. You do something 2 times, you're done. He gets it or he doesn't get it. There is no 7 takes. He doesn't do that. He shoots fast. Tim Robbins said on this movie, he worked 7 hours a day. That's short shoot day. I'm telling you. So Clint Eastwood gets in and gets out fast. I think that did not lend itself. Most of this movie, 95% of this movie, that worked fine for. That one scene with Marcia Gay Harden and Sean Penn was weird. And I think it had to do with the camera setups. A lot of what she did, you couldn't see her face. You just kind of heard this almost like ADR they put in later of her going, where she's like crying in his shoulder. And I was like, we needed more from her. This is an Oscar-winning actress. We need more from her with her face. I need to see her emote in that scene that she's scared for her husband's life. And she's conflicted about telling Jimmy. Why would she tell him just like right out? Like she just gave it up real quick. He's like, do you think you killed my daughter? Yeah. But she kind of is crying, but she's not really. It felt like she didn't have enough takes to get into that emotion for me. That's just the behind the scenes thing for me. Mm-hmm. It probably wouldn't apply to most people who watch the movie because you're just kind of gripped in the fact that, oh, Jimmy's going to go after Dave now. But for me, I felt like I really wanted her to get more in that scene. She's a brilliant actress, and I wanted her to get
what that meant, the friendship and everything.
Oh, huge, huge turn of events. This is the catalyst for the whole last third act of the movie. Yeah. This is the third act catalyst. Without this scene, you don't know why Jimmy goes after Dave. He has no reason to. I just felt like if they were going to get these 2 actors on screen, do another take, Clint. Just do one more take or 2. Just make sure you got like the right enough. So, because what it ends up being is he doesn't have enough coverage. If they were shooting 2 cameras on opposite ends, one's getting her, one's getting Sean Penn, it almost looked like they had almost one in the front. So it was almost not even really over the shoulder. It's kind of both in front like this angle to them. They needed more coverage, or they needed to shoot another scene with her and get more of her face not in his shoulder the whole scene. And then you could have cut it in however you wanted from that point. It just gives you a little more coverage. Not a big deal, but the movie's all day long at 8, 8.5, 9, whatever. Mm-hmm. It could be anywhere. Yeah. But that's why my score's a little lower, but that's just me being picky, to be honest with you. Yeah. I mean, I should give it a 9 just because Clint composed it. I never knew he composed anything ever in history. So That's pretty awesome. That gives me more reverence for him in the industry, period. So,
all right, are we ready for the wheel?
yeah. Have you seen Unforgiven, by the way, the one I brought up earlier?
I haven't. No.
With him, can we put that on the wheel? As I just think it's a brilliant movie.
Rob wants to put Payback too.
Oh, sure, Payback. That's the one with Mel Gibson, right? Payback, or is that
the one you mentioned?
It's one of those two guys, right? Payback.
I think Payback's the one you mentioned with the. What is it?
Yeah, it's one of those ones that has the blue tone.
Which one? Yeah.
Payback. Yeah, it's Mel Gibson. I used to have that movie on VHS, actually.
I'll add it.
I think that's the one that has to do with a. Yeah. Okay, I remember.
Here we go.
Cool.
1, 2, 3. Actually, I want that. It's gone in 60 seconds. So.
Gone in 60 Seconds, the original or the remake?
The one with Cage.
Oh, yeah, the remake, yeah. I love that movie when it came out.
Ooh, Contact?
Oh.
Count of Monte Cristo.
Count of Monte Cristo, maybe. It's one of the two.
Oh, boy.
I think it's going to be Count.
Yep.
Wow, okay. I just watched that, actually, like 2 weeks ago.
Did you?
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's a really good movie. Fun fact, I didn't know this movie existed. I knew there was a Count of Monte Cristo. There's been a few of them because it was a big book by the same guy who wrote The Three Musketeers. Dumas, French writer from way back in the day. These books are old, like early 1800s or late 1700s. I can't remember, but it was great. I didn't see it until like last year. First time I'd ever seen it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I don't think it's my style, but we'll see. We'll give it a chance.
It might not be, but like the story is it's a good story. And Superman's in it, so it's always a plus. The Superman you like,
Henry
by the way.
Cavill?
Yep, Henry Cavill, a young Henry Cavill. Looks like a teenager almost.
I'll give it a chance. What's his name? Jim
Caviezel.
Yeah, from Passion of the Christ. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, now that movie has a crazy story. I watched a documentary on that, the making of that recently.
Oh, the Passion of the Christ.
Yeah, nobody wanted to work with Mel Gibson. Nobody wanted to fund it. Nobody wanted to help him in any way, and he basically took all his own money to fund it. So basically, he got all the windfall when it made all the money it made. All those people who wouldn't buy into it, and they wanted him to change the language it was in. They wanted him to change all kinds of stuff, and he wouldn't do it.
There's some not weird, like there's some things that happen on set too, religious wise.
Oh yes, somebody got struck by lightning. I think it was Jim Caviezel. I think he got struck by lightning. Yeah,
and
which is crazy. I don't know how you take that. Take it like you're doing a good thing, or take it like you're doing a bad thing. I'm not sure.
But yeah, Resurrection's supposed to be coming too, so that Mel Gibson's working on. So we'll see. But okay.
Yeah.
Count of Monte
Cristo. That's Mystic Ripper. Was it a mystic thriller? That's the question. I couldn't come up with what words I wanted to use for this. I was like, what do I say about this movie? I didn't know what this like. It's not the type of movie you put like a big exclamation point, exciting film. It's not that. So I was like, what do I call this? A mystic thriller. I don't have an outro for this. Movie's too sad. I don't know what to say. Let's just hope this never happens to anybody watching this, or us, or anybody we know. And if you're not sad and you want to feel sad, but also watch a really good movie, you can still just go to your couch. Well, you might have to get up if you have an old VHS player that doesn't have a remote. But
I just got one actually.
Did you? With a remote?
The movies again.
Oh no, crap! Yeah. Can I just say the one I have? Can I say the one I bought because I'm excited?
Yeah, go.
Because I'd have to run like 200 feet back to the house to get it. I got Braveheart, 2 VHS set for that movie because it's so long.
Let me get the ones because I have them close by. Hold on.
Yeah. But until John comes back, I'll just say I don't know if I ever watched Braveheart on VHS, honestly. I think I watched it on DVD when I watched it. I think DVD had come out by that point, and I was all about watching stuff on that medium. So I don't think I ever watched Braveheart on VHS. So once I get a VHS player, I'm gonna check it out on the two VHS tapes. So I get to take a break in the middle, like they used to do with theaters.
This is what I've been getting so far. So
okay. Oh, we got a stack.
Richie Rich.
Oh, I remember that one.
All right,
that's Macaulay Culkin, isn't it?
Macaulay Culkin. Oh man.
Yeah.
Talk about. I've been going after the ones I've grown up with.
Yeah.
For the most part, Richie Rich, Dr. Dolittle.
Oh, the Dr. Dolittle, Eddie Murphy. I remember that.
Okay, this one's a must.
Oh, it's a two.
Casino.
Oh, Casino. Yeah.
Have to be Casino. I don't know why I got this one. I guess it was just there, so I picked it up. Independence Day. Never watched this movie.
Oh, you've never seen it?
I've never watched Independence Day ever.
Do you want to put it on the list then? You want to put it on the wheel?
I could put it on the list if it's a good movie.
Okay. Yeah, let's put it on the list. I mean, it's a well-known movie, and a lot of people like it a lot. First,
Analyze That.
Analyze That.
Robert De Niro.
Nice. Billy Crystal.
Yeah, that's an awesome movie. Nutty Professor.
Another Eddie Murphy. Yeah, and his height of his powers.
That one, I had that too. The Flintstones. With John.
John Goodman Flintstones. Yeah, they did do a live action. I remember that.
Grew up with this. This one's like.
Is that Rosie O'Donnell?
Rosie O'Donnell as Wilma.
Rick Moranis playing the neighbor.
Not Wilma. Was Wilma? No,
she's playing Velma. No. She's playing the wife of the Rick Moranis' character.
What's the wife's? What's Fred Flintstone's wife's name? Oh
my god, Betty? It's not Betty, is it?
Fred Flintstone. Maybe Betty.
She's the redhead, right?
No, that's Wilma.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That's the other.
No, that's Fred Flintstone. What's the other ones?
We have Fred Flintstone, Barney Rubble.
Barney.
That's Wilma is Flintstone. She's the redhead. Yeah. That's Fred Flintstone's wife, and then Betty Rubble.
Betty, there you go.
Barney's
I said
wife.
Velma's from Scooby Doo.
Yeah,
it actually came with the pamphlet still from back in the day, with like the coupons.
That's cool. Oh yeah, that's cool. Now that you brought up Flintstones, which I never thought would ever come out, I can say this: my nickname growing up from all my cousins was Bam Bam.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's what everybody called me.
Little kid.
Yep.
Dennis the Menace. Oh my god.
Oh, that's a good. I love
this one. Will haunt us as kids with what's that guy's name from Back to the Future? Emmett Brown. Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher
Lloyd. Where they're in the camp scene eating the beans out of the can. If you remember that scene as a kid.
Yeah.
Classic.
I love Walter Matthau though.
Finding Nemo.
He's great.
A must.
Finding Nemo. Wow, that's a newer VHS.
Yeah. You don't see Finding Nemo to
still
making VHS. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have never seen. I would have never thought they still were making VHS then.
And of course, Toy Story.
Oh, you found a Toy Story?
Of course.
Did you find it at a place where you were buying these, or you had to order that one specifically?
No. These are where I was buying them. This has been over a couple of months. This hasn't been one shot.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, it's hard to find VHS though.
So, pick them up. Start a little collection. I already got the VHS player. I got the TV set. I just have to get it all set up, but
it's cool. Hey, let's bring it back. Why not?
For the art, right? The art of the case and the
it's cool. Little slip case. I remember when you would buy them originally, they would come when they were those type of slip cases and not the ones that are clamshell. They would come wrapped, right? So they couldn't slide out or tape.
They come in a plastic, wrapped in a cellophane plastic.
Yeah.
All right. That's it.
Well, guys, I don't want to tell you. Just press play. That's all you do. When you want to watch a movie, just press play. It's always the same button to get it going. So,
just to say, what a softie, jeez.
That Toy Story looks good in VHS clamshell. I can say that.
Yeah, Joan Collins was Fred's mother.
Was that the first Pixar movie, by the way? Was that the first one?
First one.
Was Toy Story the first one? I thought it was.
I think it is. Yep.
That was before they were Disney. That was when they were their own company, doing their own thing in animation.
I think that was
when animation was young. By the way, as far as 3D animation, like that's why it was such a breakout hit. Not just because they had big actors in the story. Obviously, that was good, but the ability of them to do those effects and make them look as good as they did in 1993, Same year Jurassic Park came out. That was a crazy year for visual effects, digital.
Also, I have to say, before we go, rest in peace, Tim Curry, man. Gosh, crazy
Oh, I
week this
know.
week.
We just watched that too a few weeks ago.
Legend, yeah.
Watched Legend, and he was the best part of the movie for by far and away. Best part.
Oh my god, yeah. So
memorable
tough week
villain.
this week.
Anybody that has the darkness statues, give him a hug or something, man. Because yeah. But I know he'd been going through some stuff. I think he had. I saw an interview with him recently in the last few months where he was talking about his career. What a humble guy, by the way. Not a crazy, like, I'm the best, nothing. He was just like, he's kind of like Harrison Ford, except Harrison Ford has that kind of gruffness. But he says the same things Harrison Ford says when he's asked about how he get this job and whatever. He's like, I think I was just in the right place at the right time. It's always like a happenstance reason he got a gig or something. He never attributes to his ability as an actor, which is interesting because he has a lot of acting ability. Yeah. Right. Dolly Parton too, by the way. Don't leave her out.
And today was Optimus Prime, the voice actor for Optimus Prime.
Oh no, Peter Cullen?
Yeah.
He passed away today?
Today, yeah.
Oh no. I didn't know that. I just learned that live. That's horrible.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know, man. What kind of year it's been?
My whole childhood is disappearing.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing.
My eyes.
Yeah. Home Alone, like almost everybody's gone from the adults.
That's the thing about watching older movies, especially I'm older than you by about 9 years or so, or 8 years or something. Okay. Yeah. As you get older, you start noticing the people you grew up watching. Like you watch those movies again, you're like, I love this movie, and then you go look up stuff now because everybody has the internet. You go look up and you're like, oh, they're dead. They're dead. They're dead. Like everybody's gone.
It's crazy.
And if you watch anything like a decade before your time, just to see older stuff, you're like, they're all gone. I mean, there's nobody left from those movies.
Well, yeah, for me, it was like people like Robin Williams.
I know.
But once you start seeing the names like Al Pacino, De Niro, Schwarzenegger, Stallone, once they start going, oh man, we're done.
Yeah, that's a whole era. In cinema and like stardom
that you'll never see again. By the way,
that's gone. Yeah,
yeah.
Unless it starts over from scratch in another way and reboots. Yeah, you won't, because right now the way the industry is, there are no real stars. A lot of that streaming, by the way, has caused that because all of the content that's needed just from the back. I know I'm sorry, I'm almost up.
No, you're good.
From the back end, just from the back end working. Since I didn't really bring anything up about working in the industry, just from the back end working and what I've seen the last, like, let's say 7-8 years. So much stuff is being made for streaming at a shoestring budget that there's no star. There is nobody that they're getting. I mean, they're getting people to sell the movie to streaming services. So if the streaming service will pick it up based on an actor's name, they'll do it. But there is no like Tom Cruise.
Obsession,
Tom Cruise will be the last one. Tom Cruise will be the last one. Basically,
I haven't watched it yet, but Obsession, wasn't that just like a low budget?
Yeah, low budget. Not as low as they promoted it to be. They kind of BS that a little bit. If anybody ever wants to go into that, I'd be happy to tell everybody, but that's a little bit of a marketing tool that they use a lot with these budgets. They finagle budgets to make you think they didn't spend as much money, but yeah. That's a Blumhouse movie. They bought that movie before they distributed it for $15 million. So they put some money into it. It's not as small a budget as they originally said. They said $750,000, but yeah.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, was it $750 maybe to film it, like to actually put it together? Like it was already filmed and created.
Yeah, it was filmed. It was filmed. Let's say it was $750, but with that, what they could have done, there's all kinds of things you could do. I don't want to like give away all the secrets or whatever, but I don't really care. There's all kinds of things they can do to give the actors money without paying them for the budget. They could say they're paying them for marketing. That's a different budget. There's multiple budgets on movies. There's a marketing budget. There's a publication budget. There's a shooting budget, which is what they're talking about. The shooting budget. They're saying shooting the movie costs $750. I can tell you right now, if that's the case, and then the movie went on to make tons of money, SAG would have ripped them apart if they hadn't paid a bunch of SAG fees for. Like they would kill them because that movie made so much money. These actors would be due so much money in residuals,
exactly,
stuff. They would be going after them like crazy for basically coming in and saying, well, you only spent $750, so we only have to pay your P&H. I only paid you scale, so I only have to pay regular scale P&H. Scale is basically the minimum that you have to pay for weekly for an actor. So let's say an actor came in and worked 3 weeks. You only paid him 3 weeks at scale. Scale's the minimum you pay for a SAG actor. That's what you have to pay to get them in, so you don't get in a problem with the union. The union checks these payrolls, by the way, every week. You send them a copy so they know they're on top of it. They'll come after you if you're a small production. If this was a small production, I've been on small productions that were way bigger than 750,000, still considered small, and they come after you all the time for stuff, nickel and diming you for fees after the movie's over. Year or two after, they're still coming after for 40,000 here, 30,000 there. They want fees for this, fees for that. There's no way that movie would have. Also, a $750,000 movie getting distribution in the theater, not possible. Not possible. I do $7 to $10 million movies all the time. They don't get theater distribution. They go straight to streaming. They don't even get released. So how did a $750,000 movie all of a sudden get a huge wide theatrical release? Well, the reason it got a huge wide theatrical release is, first off, I don't believe in the $750,000 number. They'd have to show me the budget, and I'd have to be able to say, okay, you actually did pay these, and here's your SAG fees and your rates and all that, and they didn't come after you. I have to see that. I have to like audit their books because I don't believe it. The other thing is I know that they $15 million was paid at some point. I know that Blumhouse put $15 million in that movie. That's why it got released, because Blumhouse got a hold of it and put $15 million in it. What's the $15 million for? That's my question. You're saying the director just got $15 million because it was his property. He just got paid $15 million free and clear and sold it to Blumhouse? No way. Ain't no way. I just don't believe it. There's all kinds of, like, I could look into it deeper and find, but it's like, you just have to be careful with those numbers. A lot of it's marketing. It helps the marketing.
Rob's saying it's like the last bench warmer on an NBA team makes at least 1.3 million.
Yeah, true. I wonder how much their insurance is, though. If you're on a sports team, that has to be some heck of insurance.
Yeah, that has to be heavy.
Because you got to pay for any injury. You don't want to be paying out of pocket for surgery all the time if you get injured on court and all this rehab and stuff you have to get with the team. I don't know if the team covers all that or if you have to pay portions of it or something. I'm not sure. Not sure how that works.
All right.
But anyway, press play. We ended a little weird for the Mystic. If you want to cut that, make that a whole nother thing. I don't know, but
it could be.
Mystic River's a great movie. Check it out.
Press play, peeps.
Press play. That's it.
We'll see you tomorrow for Collectors Club. All the best.